episode 227 of season 13 of the Too Thick Pod, your home for all things sports, cards, levity. I am Jeremy, joined as always, Manny, who is in the greatest mood ever. His Michigan Wolverines are the national champions of college football. Good afternoon, Manuel.
You could kiss my tushy with that. I've been at war with Michigan fans the last couple of days. And no, I'm not an Ohio State fan if you're just listening. I'm a Michigan State fan, and we can't stand the cheating bums at Michigan.
So what you're saying is you are not go big blue.
I'm not. I'm not go big blue. I'm go non-cheaters. You know, cheaters are supposedly are winning recently. You got the Astros, and now you got the Michigan Wolverines. So it's fun right now for the Michigan fans until it's vacated.
Is this something that you expect to happen?
I hope.
Will that be the greatest day of your life?
Yes. And it is all hate. I know there's Michigan fans on there. I don't care. It's hate. I went to Michigan State, so we despise you guys.
There you go. Me, a Chicago transplant who doesn't quite grasp how big college sports is living in Michigan, was just, I was setting my friends up for failure. When they were playing Bama, I was telling my friends, who are not football people, yell, go Tide, roll Tide. Then it was like, go Huskies. And to me, it didn't matter. I have found Michigan and I would say Detroit Lion fans to be pretty insufferable lately. This is a group of people. Michigan hadn't won a national championship in 26 years.
No. They won a half of a title. They haven't won since 1940 some.
Correct.
So I want to say that.
And then you have Detroit Lions fans who will tell you that Jared Goff is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is the greatest wide receiver of all time. Aiden Hutchinson is the greatest athlete of all time because he's double whammy, right? Because he went to the University of Michigan. So, basically, whatever God you believe in reports to Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep.
And they're the greatest team ever. Nobody can stop them. And so, as a Michigan person who lives here,
yep,
I was like, if they're not playing the Bears or the Pistons aren't playing the Bulls, I'm rooting for you. But now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, man, I think I'm starting to switch the other way where I'm actively rooting for them to lose because these people need to calm down.
Yeah.
Settle down.
We have a friend, I would consider him a friend, that comes to card shows with his kids, and he's he hustles you for your Aiden Hutchinson cards and your Lions cards. So he must think, he must hate me on Twitter, to be honest with you. I'm surprised he still follows me.
I'm not on X. I mean, so here's the thing. I am on X.
Yeah.
I've created a very nice list for all things Chicago sports, so I can go in and filter it by Bulls, get all the Bulls information, Bears, Blackhawks, blah, 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 blah. But I no longer communicate with that gentleman because it could be a $1,000 card. He harasses you until you're willing to sell it for 10, and then at the end of the day, you gave him the $1,000 card, a $50 gift card to Starbucks, and you filled up his gas tank.
Yep.
And so I'm not down for those kinds of negotiations.
It's those Michigan fans. I'm telling you, you got to watch yourself with them.
Typical. And before we get into it, as always, this wonderful show that you're listening to is sponsored by our dear friends, TNT Sports Cards. Make sure you check out tntcards.com. Manny will plug the Facebook. But go sign up. The best group subber that I have ever dealt with. You can put that on your mama.
Yeah, I had, after the episode last week, I had people reaching out trying to sign in and telling me, get Tyler to accept my thing into the Facebook group. So thank you for the support for TNT. Not really us, because it's really for them, right? We're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, pretty much.
Yeah, and I will say, if there's any shortfall, my man Tyler is grinding. He is grinding. I've experienced it firsthand. He comes home. He's got the laptop in the shower. He's got like a Ziploc bag over it. He's answering phone calls. He's texting on 3 different devices at once. And he sleeps 0 hours a day. He, at one point, was drinking 17 Monsters until he developed an ulcer the size of a basketball. Now he's off that. I've got him drinking a little bit of Starbucks. He's going to be all right. He's got this. But, just great guys over there. So make sure you check out TNT Cards. check out TNT Sports Cards Michigan on Facebook. Did I plug that the right way, man?
Yeah. He's you got to be careful with him too, because he is a Lions and Michigan fan too. So I just want to point that out there before you go on the site. He is a big Michigan and Lions guy. So
so here and big ups to him.
no.
I wouldn't share this, but I know they posted it and I saw it. But they had a $20 parlay that hit for $13,000.
I saw that,
which was awesome. He was texting me during the game, and I actually ended up watching the rest of the Bills-Dolphins game, rooting for my friend to, get that bank.
But what an asshole for not telling us, right?
Let me tell you, who jumped in right away was Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam already taxed it. Money didn't even hit the account. Uncle Sam got paid.
That's awesome. Yeah, congrats to him.
Yeah. Oh, what I was going to say is I will push back if he gets loud about the Lion stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's originally a Cowboys fan.
Is he really?
He has Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith stuff in his basement everywhere, autoed. I think he's influenced being surrounded by Michiganders, where I'll walk into, I'll tell you, Michigan State sucks ass Northwestern, baby. I've got no problem. My man is like getting his chameleon on and switching to, what's going on.
Hey, when you're over there, swagger jack those Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith autos. He doesn't need them anymore. And
I'll see what I can do. And I didn't share this with you. We were actually invited to the Pistons Spurs game to see Victor Wembanyama tonight. They were doing like a TNT outing at Little Caesars Arena. Unfortunately, I have kids who get sick at the most inconvenient time. I've got business that like there's never enough hours in the day, so I had to politely decline. But he did extend you and I the offer of tickets for tonight's game to see Victor Wembanyama in person.
That's awesome. Thanks for telling me 2 hours before I had to leave.
Here's the thing. I know your ass wasn't going to be able to go, so I spoke on your behalf.
That's fine. No, we have another friend in the hobby. I just want to say congrats, right? We got Brock. I can't say from Ludex anymore. Well, he used to work for Ludex. Now he's on to bigger, better things, right?
Yeah, I chatted with Brock. He let me know that he his old industry, I believe it's construction related, he got an absolute home run of an offer. And as a new father, I think we wish them well last episode. I hope him, mama, and baby are doing fine. As a new father, when you get those kinds of offers,
can't resist.
You can't resist. And so I know he left on the greatest of terms with Ludex. Ludex was sad to see him go. Brock was a mover and a shaker, always took the greatest care of you and I, always made sure we were taken care of. Had some really incredible times going out to eat and sharing some drinks with him. So I'm happy for him. He told me he would jump on. He'd love to jump on and just be a hobby participant and talk about what he's seeing. And so, we'll get Beef Supreme on from Ludex to talk about it. And, maybe we can get them to pay us some money. And like, you and I would never be able to fill the shoes that won Brock.
No, never. But we don't have the facial structure that Brock has,
Correct. Best of luck to Brock on your new endeavors. He said he's still going to be in the hobby like crazy. It's just when it comes to getting those ducats, having the freedom to do the things that he wants to do, truly happy for him.
For sure. He's a Marcus Rashford PC guy. I don't know if he still is, but he was at one point. So we'll have to get him on and talk about how bad Man United are.
I'll tell you what, once in a while we'd show up at a show and he'd have just some absolute fire soccer. And specifically, and we're going to talk about soccer later, so it's kind of cool. There was, you and I were, I'll speak for myself. I was moving out of soccer just because it was difficult to move in Michigan. You could move it online, but in Michigan, we'd set up some awesome showcases. And outside of a base, Erling Holland, we couldn't move anything. And so you'd go, and I remember specifically when I was buying a ton of Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
He had some incredible Jude Bellingham, where it would have been like 2 cards would have been my entire bankroll.
Yep.
And I ultimately passed, but my man would always show up with the most random badass soccer I'd ever seen.
For sure. And I think that's the only place we sold soccer was at their show, the Ludex show.
Yeah.
I couldn't sell it at Shipshawana. There'd be like people here and there at Shipshawana. The Traverse City show, no one, any of the Michigan shows. I would say the Ludex or the Avery Shoebox show is actually getting more and more soccer people. They're starting to realize that we were the soccer guys, and they keep coming to us, and we're like, well, we don't have soccer today.
Yes, I will be well positioned when that takes off, and thank you, a big thank you for calling it the Avery's Shoebox Show. I got 2 messages, and they were, like, unanimously the same 2 messages. "Hey, welcome back," and then "shitbox." That is all I got repeatedly was "shitbox" and "welcome back." "Shitbox,
Yeah.
missed you," "shitbox this," "shitbox that," and finally, I just laughed at it, and I was happy to see that people understood the error in my ways, but
Yeah.
I did feel, like, a little bit bad for my boy Dennis because he's a handsome man with a nice beard, he does the
Works
ring
hard.
girls he does the ring girl stuff, once in a
Yeah.
while for the UFC events.
He just witnessed the Atlanta Falcons lose to not make the playoffs, and you're over here calling it his show and his store shitbox. I mean, Jesus.
Hey, if we never get a sponsorship again, we know why.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so the one thing I wanted to talk about first, and I think it's cool to recap it because I don't want things to get lost in the shuffle. And we've had tremendous success sharing the good, the bad, the ugly. We were really bullish on trying and experiencing everything ComC has to offer. We had Trees Collectibles on to school us a little bit. You and I shared. And I reached out to you because I woke up one morning and you get like a daily summary if you have some sales.
Yep.
And I woke up and I had like done over $100 in sales. Now, mind you, these are cards that we do not care about, or for me, cards I don't care about, cards that I'm not going to get graded. Instead of just sitting around collecting dust, not doing anything,
Yep.
ship them off now. They get uploaded in a couple months, and you make some money. And you're like, oh, I reached out to you. You're like, congratulations, always incredibly supportive. That's awesome. Asking me how much I've sold, and at that point, just shy of like $1,000.
Yeah.
And I still have like 1,200 cards in my store with like another couple hundred, in the queue to be loaded. And you're like, I haven't checked in a while. You came back and you were just under $1,000 well. And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So like, tell me about what your ComC experience has been like, the surprise in seeing those sales and what you've done since then.
So ComC, my biggest regret in the hobby was not doing it sooner. Trees, like you said, has been telling us, do it, do it, do it. He's made a bankroll just by working and dealing off ComC. I put in a ton of probably 200 to 300 soccer. I bought a big soccer lot, number parallel. So I put them all in. Then I went through, like you said, I went through my boxes and just anything that was like $2 or $1.50 or more, I was sending to ComC because it's like it's gonna sit here. Why not sell it? And you have to pay 50 cents a card. So that's why I'm like that $1.50 range. Like you're still making $1. You're doubling your money if you sell it for that $1.50. So that's how I think about it. You're getting 50% ROI and it's just sitting in a corner. But yeah, the one thing that I would say is negative is it's so easy to sell and you forget about it that you don't check ComC like I did it. Jeremy showed me and I got on my app because they have an app now and I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, I have $500 just sitting in there, which I took some money out for the national, and I was like shocked. I was like, "How does this happen?" And I went through my recent sales, and it's just been, like Jeremy says, if you're not paying attention to that email, you don't even know stuff's getting sold. And I looked, and so much was getting sold. So, what my advice too, if you do have ComC and things are sitting, like Jeremy said, he has 1,000. Go through and just lower the cost because people are watching and will buy it immediately.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and I can't say with certainty, but there is I know I've never bought on ComC, and it's not
Yeah.
that I don't want to, it's just I haven't had the time to really dive in, but I think there's a feature that when cards either are just added or the price is adjusted, it shows up on the main
Yep.
page, and so people will go there. I have a feature set up that anybody can do that I will accept a certain percentage of my ask price.
Yep.
So if there's a bunch of cards listed and they're $8 a piece, I'm at 790 or 795, and then I go in and I put auto accept on 60, 70, 80, 90%. So that way, if anybody makes that offer, I don't even have to click on and say accept. It's just boom, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I need to do that because I get to sometimes I get people that send offers, but I'm busy at the time, and then they'll cancel it because they think I'm not looking at it.
Yep.
So if you have that, then if it's in that 70 or 80 range, whatever you want to sell it at, they'll just buy it right away.
Yeah, and I think that you should do that because it's people are motivated to spend their money. Don't give them a reason not
Not
to.
to.
I
Yeah.
think many one mistake that I made, and it's not glaring, is at one point I was just like anything and everything I'm sending. And I'm like,
Mhm.
if this looks like a decent card, it's going. I made the mistake of a few cards, like I just assumed that it was $1.15 above or $2. And there's been
Mhm.
a couple that are like a 50-cent card.
Yeah.
Or so you know what I mean? So you're losing a couple cents because you pay the 50 cents on the ingestion, then you sell it for 35 cents. Like, so I would take the moment and like, what I'm trying to do now is because I'm an all or nothing sort of cat. Like
Yep.
I have to do like I have so many cards here, dude. Like
Yeah.
so many. What I would do is I would sit down. I'm like, all right, I have to go through all of these right now, and
Mhm.
it would become overwhelming, and I just wouldn't do it. So what I've made it a point is just like 10, 15 minutes a day, go through them, separate them, and then at the end of the week, guess what? It's not as daunting, and then you've identified a good 100, 200, 300 cards
Yep.
that you can send off and just keep cycling through it because they're cards I'm not going to grade. I don't have the time or the energy to bring them to a show and do dollar boxes. So why not set them up there and make a little bit of money without having to do much of anything?
Yeah, and I would say I talked to Bushy because Indy he was telling me that he started ComC because he listened to the show. He does a lot of Pokemon. He worked at Indie Card Exchange. He just moved to Florida, so congrats. But
Congratulations.
he was the main guy, Pokemon guy at the store. So he would buy Pokemon that he thought were good deals, and he would open and rip cases of it. And he sent a lot to ComC. He said, be mindful. Pokemon doesn't do as good as sports cards in ComC. So you could take that as a negative or a positive. He said he's taking it as a positive that he's going through the Pokemon cards on ComC and buying them, and then getting them back, selling them, and then getting some sports cards from it. So
That's awesome. So he's like almost doing the reverse of like exploiting deficiencies on ComC or where cards don't sell strong,
yep.
getting them and taking them elsewhere. So I think that's incredible and that's like great feedback. And I think that's one thing that again we've been pretty consistent is the strength of having good relationships
Hmm.
because you and Evan had a thing for a little while prior to him moving where he would get you lots of like NT, Flawless, Optic, Prism of Michigan players or players of various sports who had ties to
Yeah.
Michigan somehow. And you would buy them and you would flip them with such ease where
Yeah.
you wouldn't even have to negotiate. You could sell a card at 50, 60% and still make money.
Yeah, there was one lot that he gave me at Shipshawana. It was Detroit Lions, all flawless, numbered cards. And it was like a lot of like 15, I would say, 10 to 15 cards. He sold them to me so because he got them as a deal, right? He sold them, he made his profit. I joined a Detroit Lions Facebook group because it's big around here, right? Posted them, and I did them like 60, 70%. You should have saw how much people were flooding the comments saying this is a steal, I can't believe I missed it, if you have any other lots let me know, blah blah blah. So the guy that bought it was talking to me about the Lions for a while, and I was like, dude, I'm not a Lions fan. I kind of don't like them. So but here you go, here's for you. So but it's fun. I lost my pipeline, so now I got to figure out what I'm going to do now.
Yeah, so I actually think we could send this out there if you're looking to flip cards or move cards and you're out there, reach out to us, send us a DM, maybe we can help each other out. Maybe you're in Florida or Texas or California or wherever across the
Hmm.
world. Same thing with soccer. If you see something, we can always pick it up for cheap out here and flip it, and maybe it can work both ways.
For sure. Like I was looking for Halliburton for him because he said that sold like crazy in Indianapolis. So I'm sure Anthony Richardson now is going to sell like crazy. So pick him. Well, he's probably not cheap here right now because Prism just came out. But when it comes to you find those players, or like you even said, Chicago, you got people in Chicago that love Fields, that love like the Bulls. You got your P. Will guys and all that. So you could pick it up here and go to Chicago and sell them easily.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
Or not vice versa, but like.
No, they have Detroit players and stuff that they could.
But it works because like nobody in like where we live, nobody would ever give a shit about Cole Kmet, who's a tight end for the Bears.
Yeah, no one cares.
You go to Chicago and these people are like, "Oh, that's Baby Gronk. He's awesome. I'm a Bears fan. He's the best tight end. He's a beast." Yada yada yada. So I really like. I mean it. I have no problem. I do it with Mark. Like I'll bring him all the Chicago stuff in the world. I'll go there and scoop up stuff that's Michigan stuff, and it's just like easy arbitrage. You're not gonna retire from it, but who doesn't want to make like an easy $50, $100, $150 on a transaction?
Yeah, it makes sense. People go to the Dallas Card Show and bring all their Cowboys and Rangers and stuff like that to sell at the Dallas Card Show. So I mean, when we do Avery Shoebox, all you see is Michigan, Michigan State, or Lions or Tigers players. So
that's awesome, man. Congrats to Evan. I shot him a voice note. I wish him well. I hope Florida treats him good. Maybe we'll get down there and visit him at some point this year.
Yeah, I'm actually going to a family trip to Kissimmee,
which is you're going to be right in the Disney area.
Right in the Disney area, and I text Brandon and I told him that maybe one day Kaylee wants to head over to Tampa, and we'll do a day with Brandon and his family.
It's an easy drive. Go to Discovery Cove.
Okay.
It's all inclusive. They limit the amount of people that can get in. You will have a blast.
Okay. Yeah, we're doing some water park down there. I don't know.
When are you going?
April.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. If you go, be prepared because Bro Namath doesn't bring money for the valet. He expects you to pay for that.
Okay. Yeah. And especially with this Porsche, it's a lot for a valet.
Oh, and then if every tunnel you drive under, he has to obnoxiously hit the gas and make it loud so people look at him.
Yeah. He's that guy.
Yeah, and he likes going where there's like a 19-year-old valet who's gonna just like drool all over his like.
Yeah.
I am not into cars at all, so it'll be like, oh, spoiler.
Yeah.
And then they sit there and fucking drool on each other. So just
the only difference is I'll eat the pizza that he gets.
To be clear, it wasn't a pizza. It was a flat.
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
And hey, whatever. Whatever, man. Me and Brona were just out enjoying in Tampa.
Yeah, there you go.
But he is human Yelp. So if you're like, hey, I'm in the Tampa area, I want to do tacos and I want to spend under $10, he will write you 17 paragraphs and list the orders. Like he'll filter it however you want and tell you the pros and cons of each and every spot.
There you go. Yeah, I'll have to do that for sure.
And to his credit, the one Mexican joint that he sent us to that has this crazy tequila bar was so good that not only did I go out there like last December when we went to the Bucks Bengals game, that when we went on a family vacation, we drove over there and took my entire family to go eat there. It was like legitimately
that good. Okay. I'll have to get a hold of them for sure.
So, man, so we've got that. ComC is cool. I wanted to talk about what we're doing. It's a new year. We took a little bit of a break. I think we both came back refreshed, rejuvenated. Now, we were both quietly in the sense of not sharing it on social media, incredibly active in the hobby.
Yep.
But I think we have both shifted a little bit and for different reasons. My shift is a result of not having disposable income like I did. I had the ability, and I want to be clear, this is not a brag. This is not a flex. It was just in my personal life. I could make mistakes and there was no consequence.
Yeah.
You could lose X amount of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You could make a mistake on $10,000 and it doesn't have an impact. Being in business for yourself where there is no guaranteed paycheck and I'm responsible for the financial well-being of my family cannot at all. I'm very much risk adverse now.
Yep.
So I went and I decided I have to come up with a new way to play. I believe you changed a little bit based on just whatever makes you happy and keeps you juiced up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, that and I'm a broke bitch. So there's that too.
Shout out kids.
Yeah, shout out kids. Um, no, I actually, again, I'm gonna shout him out. Brandon Bro Namath told me about and Beckett actually when Beckett announced the manga grading that they're grading mangas. I like mangas, and what a manga is basically like a comic version of an anime for Japanese, right? Um, so I went out and looked up some first appearances of some characters in some shows, like the first episode of some bigger name shows like Demon Slayer. We watched Demon Slayer. I bought that. Plan on getting it graded and keeping it in like the collection. Jujutsu Kaisen. One Piece is a little expensive. One Piece is $1,000 for the first appearance, but yeah, just going through and looking at the animes I like and getting the first appearances. That I think that's pretty cool.
That it's fascinating. Like I'm still I could easily see us if we allowed ourselves to become like a solely TCG thing because
Mm-hmm.
it's so fascinating. And I will say that a lot of my money has been allocated towards TCG just
Mm-hmm.
because it is incredibly fascinating. The cards are cool to look at. The transactions with people are very smooth and easy, and you get to avoid some of the bullshit that comes with like card bros.
Yep.
Um, but with that being said, I have shifted back to soccer
Mm-hmm.
and still going hard on off-season sports. So like right now, my whole thing has been loading up on soccer and loading up on baseball, but I'm doing it in like a little bit of a different way. I am bottom feeding to a
Yeah.
large degree. I am like scouring auctions, specifically the weeklies,
Mm-hmm.
Golden and PWCC, looking for cards that are falling through the cracks, looking for cards that aren't getting the attention, like, filtering it by rookies, rookie autos, serial numbered, short printed case hits of like young 17, 18, 19 year olds who have like upside. I'm like,
Yeah.
not goalies, not defenders, but people are going to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yep. Yep.
And when you can get a numbered, let's say out of 25 or 50 rookie on card auto for $5, $6,
Mm-hmm.
there is not a lot of risk there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's for soccer, I do have a prospect that I'm looking into, and I don't care if people know. Let me see. While you, I have I'm actually looking at for sports. By the way,
Mhm.
I'm actually going to a card show for the first time, first one of the year, first one in like 3 months to Kalamazoo. It's Hollister's sponsoring it. It's their card show at the K Wing. Is it the K Wing Center? I've never been to it, so it will be my first time.
I've
My
driven by it
plan,
a bunch of times.
yeah, it's a hockey. I actually been watched the K Wings, but I'm not sure if that's the actual location of this card show. I know there is a card show there, but my plan is to get there really early. Hollister's going to be there, and you know what he does? He's a dollar box guy.
Yep.
I got to beat him because I want to get some dollar box finds of like off season, like you said, baseball or
Mhm.
something that if I buy like a huge lot from someone, like a $5 to $10 box lot, and send it all to ComC, by the time it posts, if I do it really quick, it'll be that baseball preseason time frame or just start of the season, or even get some football for cheap because it comes in August, July, August, and it'll be at ComC already.
So you brought it full circle before I even got to it, and I was going to try to put a bow tie at the end. Is as I'm out looking for stuff,
Yeah.
and I know it's not practical to like pull every card up, look at Card Ladder or Ludex or whatever resource, eBay, 130 point. But if you find cards that routinely sell for 10, $15, and you can buy it for 5,
Yep.
you get it, and then you just turn around and flip it on a different platform. Or what I was going to say is when you meet a dealer and you're really good at this, you'll find somebody like, hey, I've got a couple $100. They might be willing to let go $500,
Yep.
$600, $700 of $1, $2, $5 cards because they don't want to take the time to sell them individually. You just take it home, put it in a box, ship it to ComC, and forget about it. In a couple months, that 200 is $600, $700, $800 potentially.
Yep. He doesn't have a card, by the way, and I'm pretty much telling the people that are listening, you're gonna get a little insight of my research. I'm a Chelsea guy. Kendry, have you heard of him?
I have not. Kendry Páez?
Yes. Chelsea wonder kid who became the youngest South American to score in a World Cup qualifier. He's only 16 years old. And they're calling him the wonder kid, the Colombian Messi. So that's going to be my guy. He signed a $17 million deal. Next year, he's going to be able to come to Chelsea. So we might see him in the Premier League very soon.
Does he have any cards out now?
I don't believe so. Not like any that people will go for, you know?
Yeah, so even if you're unfamiliar with soccer,
yeah,
Chelsea is one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Let me see. Yeah.
And at 16, there's so much upside where if you were able to get a card now or when they come out, there's going to be numerous opportunities for you to exit it and take profit, assuming he doesn't do something heinous off the field or off the pitch, which you don't typically see with a 16-year-old. Or like injury is obviously always a concern. You're muted, big dog.
Yeah, I muted myself real quick so I could play the video without sound while you were talking. But look at this. Some of his highlights. Let me go to he keeps what people like about him as a prospect. You know how Messi, when he dribbles, he keeps the ball close to his feet?
Yep.
He's able to do that. And hitting shots like that. So I don't know. As a 16-year-old player already playing in a World Cup qualifier, it's kind of insane. And Ecuador's not like you would think like a horrible team. No, they're a good team.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I expect big things. Like here he is right here. I'm sorry, that was. But yeah, this is my guy. When his stuff comes out, this is what I'm gonna go get. Especially being a Chelsea guy.
Fast with the ball.
Yes, that's because he keeps that's the Messi thing. He keeps it really close to his feet.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I hadn't heard of him, but you better believe I will look into him. Manny just gave you a good one.
I did.
Manny
I did because
and you know what? Do you want to be? I think we'll share something, and it's not like a shock, but the minute football's over, I would say late February into March, I am going to load up on Anthony Richardson like you wouldn't believe. He is going to be what Justin Fields was for me last year because he showed that he can ball. The Colts are a team with a lot of talent, and he's going to be somebody where the hype beast come, July, August, September of next year. So, like, there you go. You got Páez and Richardson right here on January 10th?
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Yeah, we're not, we're not telling you to go buy them. This is who we're actually going out and purchasing. So buy at your own risk.
Yes.
But we like these.
No, I'm just, trying to be a little bit more transparent because you always don't want to give it away what you're doing because you don't want somebody to come undercut you.
Yeah.
And so two things. One, we had mentioned this. We're actually going to put out a post, and I'm going to try to get Courtney to lay it out. If you're listening to us, DM us. We're going to do the group purchase. And I think the guideline's simple. We're going to go $20 a person. And we are collectively, whoever, if it's just me and Manny, ends up being $40. I know there's a couple people that reached out and asked for some more clarity. Whatever we do, and then collectively as a group, we're going to see what we can do. Like if there's 5 of us, are we going to run that $100 into the ground, or we're going to turn it into $7.2 million?
Yeah. Most likely our Thicc and us are going to run that bitch to the ground. But
or they're gonna get chocolate covered, horse penis for Manny to do a Thicc taste test on.
Exactly. So I'll appreciate that too. It's the ride.
So it'll be $20 a person. We'll go all in collectively. We'll make the decisions together. We'll either, whether it's grade what we want to do with it, and we'll roll it. And everything will be transparent. We'll share it. We'll have some fun. We'll see what we can do in a year.
For sure. And I will, because everyone knows I lose. I will not be making a say of what we get. I'll put my money in and let you guys decide. So
yeah, I think we go like pure democracy.
Yeah.
Right. And we will anoint somebody in the event of a tiebreak. We will, before it ever even gets to that, we will make a decision on like who gets the tiebreaker.
Yeah, we'll make the two.
And I think it would be cool if it's not you or I. It could be like, 504 person who's going to be like, well, why don't we buy all gold wrestling cards and be Drake's PC Junior
or immaculate cards? This guy, I'm telling you, he's over here. I don't have money. Blah blah blah. I live in Louisiana swamp, and the dude's like, look at him.
I have no idea. He probably has a shutout back where he cooks illegal stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and slings it.
You know what? That's probably why he didn't want to get on camera for Thicc for so long. He might not want to dox himself.
True.
Yeah.
My man's over there pretending to be Louisiana swamp trash, and in reality, he's like a kingpin.
He's Walter
loaded
White.
with money, buying anything and everything, and then while posting gold PSA 10s, complaining that he's broke.
Exactly. I like it.
We've got an interesting audience, my friend.
I love our audience. They're the best.
I'll say this. We said January 10th. Tomorrow is Courtney and I's anniversary. So we will be going to, we'll be out in Royal Oak, hitting up Ronin for some fine sushi.
There you go.
Well, sushi for Courtney, and then, sweet potato roll for yours truly.
Yeah.
And then enjoying one another's company as we knock out another, over a decade.
Kid. You said knock out another.
Dude, why did you manifest that?
Kid went right into my mind. You're going to have your 5th kid. You know why? Because you skip your appointments.
I hate you.
Yep. It's on you.
I hate you. So yeah, man, this was a cool, fun little, like, shorter edition, but one to be prompt and to the point. We did have something, and I'm just going to throw it out there because it made me laugh. Do you know that they do those like the celebrity death pools?
Yeah.
Okay? Or you'll hear people
like Deadpool, the people that die. Yeah.
Like who's gonna die next?
Yeah.
Or they have like your blank bingo card. Well, I didn't have that on my, Monday morning things I'd see at the office bingo card.
Yeah.
I was laughing to myself because like I see some shit on Instagram and I'm like, I didn't expect that on my hobby bingo card. Yep. And then I was reading a post that was like recapping, of course, all the bad stuff that happened last year.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, like, who is the next hobby influencer that is going to get cracked? Who is going to be exposed? Who is going to make you feel embarrassed, shamed, upset that you listened to them or consumed anything they said in behind the scenes? Straight fuckery.
Yeah. You got a person?
Dude, here's the thing. I thought about this. It would be fun, but I feel like we would just piss everybody off.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I'm just gonna go with the people I'm close with, and it's just because you're close with me. Tony and Oz, they're next, and they're next, and then also Double Coverage Boys in New Zealand, they're next too. Those are my two like other podcasts that I'm really close to, and they're both gonna get doxxed.
Oh, why are you doxing people, man? That's not cool. So I would say Double Coverage is safe because they already talk about it and they're already hated enough.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they go ham at people. Now, I could make the argument, and I want to be clear. I am not suggesting this. I am not saying this. Manny brought up the guys.
Who? Oz. Oh, Oz and Tony.
You brought them up. Now you could
take Eagles fans. They're Eagles fans.
Hypothetically take the angle that they were associated with other bad apples.
Yeah.
And there's terms like apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Show me your 5 closest hobby friends and I'll show you who you are. So I understand why one might make that assumption. And there has been allegedly, one of them's a mailman and routinely in the hobby
he could be stealing.
Goes missing.
Yes. But I still think the Double Coverage Boys, they do some crazy stuff down there. They're going to slip up. But They could reverse it on me and say I used to be affiliated with a certain podcast where the co-host just is not in the hobby anymore. So I got to be careful with them because they could do that to me.
I saw him the other day.
Did you?
Trashing SGC.
Oh, really?
He made an appearance. And I was like, I think it actually, to be clear, I think his point was valid.
Yeah.
But I was like, huh. Interesting. I hope, I wish Andrew well. I hope he's doing well. I know that, but I saw that and I was like, random to come out and trash SGC.
You know who else needs to come back, by the way?
Who?
Don, his podcast. I'm missing it. I hope you're listening. I need your podcast back. If that means the two Thicc boys have to come on for 3 hours, we'll come on for 3 hours.
He has embraced pickleball. He is lost. I feel like pickleball is the new sport. Do you know, like when you think of like your stereotypical vegan and how they behave, or your CrossFitter, how they behave? I think Don has embraced the pickleball world. Like I feel like if you were to go play tennis, he would be like a buzzkill because he would tell you all the reasons why pickleball is greater than tennis and why you should play it.
Yeah, there you go. That's true.
I do miss the smooth tones of one Don Raby speaking monotone.
Taking other people's culture. Don. That Don.
Anything that you've done in your life, Don legitimately has a story that's cooler. It's like, at 59 years old, I swam 9,000 yards in like, insane speed. He's like, well, I'm 64. I don't have ACLs. I was actually dead for 14 minutes and I did it, backwards quicker than you.
Yeah. The dude, have you seen him in person ever?
I've seen pictures of him. He's 9 foot 13 inches tall.
Dude, this is going to sound this can sound bad. His thighs are this big.
My man.
And he's like 6'7". The dude's a tank. I'm not messing with Don ever. Brandon, on the other hand, he's 5'2". He's stocky and a dwarf. So I shouldn't say dwarf. I'm sorry. Apologize for the little people out there.
Hey, Don, what they say, big trucks have to have big tires.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something though. When you dap it up with Brandon, my man is like, if you didn't know any better, you would think you're like in the high school days where girls feeling you up to see what you got. My man is so like lift weights, be strong, liver king. He feels you up.
Oh, he does.
Oh, he does. He's like, okay, let me like you're hugging and he's caressing your trap from the back.
Oh yeah.
He rubs on the triceps.
He's like, oh, you're skipping some shoulder days here and there. You need to get back into it. He rubbed my tummy. He's like, where's the 6-pack?
Yeah, that's why we don't do these things, because we just piss everybody off.
Exactly.
Make sure you like, subscribe, smash all that good shiz. Share it with people. Don't share it with people. I don't care. I'm having fun. This will be dropping tonight. And we are doing the live with TNT. We just pushed it to next week because this week was national championship game, Pistons game. So we'll do the inaugural true episode of that. I'm looking forward to that and hearing all things they're grading. I'm interested to hear what's coming on with Prism football, what they're seeing, the condition, what Bowman is, because I'm telling you, people rip stuff, and before they're even done with the pack, they're already shipping it to Tyler and Tommy to get it graded. So I'm looking forward to that. So do your thing, baby boo.
All right. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed your hobby release. Jeremy, what do you want the people to do?
Smash! Woo!
Have a good one. We'll talk soon.